between both sides. But the Crouch brothers, for example, coming into this game, going at about 55% efficiency by foot. Tonight, 71% for Brad and 69% for Matt.
Thanks, Soda. So the final term about to start. Adelaide by 43 points. They led by 44 at half-time after a couple of goals in the first quarter. So Williams goes forward, poor kick, and cut off by Lever. Comes wide, gets it out to centre wing. Douglas has been outstanding with those 2 goals in the third quarter. So 43 points, the margin here. Jacobs. Mumford won that tap. Canelio, little kick forward. Green trying to create something for Hopper. Atkins tries to run across in front. Crouch on his way to 30 again, seemingly. McKay down the line. Shaw clever. Shule, okay. Gets it back to Haynes. He was outstanding in the first quarter, Haynes. Courageous effort by De Boer. Quick kick by Himmelberg.
Play on, not 15. Play on.
Heard the call. And then McKay held up, and he gets a stoppage.
Not 15, but it was just short. About 5 minutes short. Thanks, mate.
Sean Ryan explaining
Back down here. Here we go. Yep.
to the players. Mumford leaning, doing a good job to win that down. Trouble is Eddie Betts got on the end of it. Scully through traffic, well done by him. Good tackle by Betts in the end. Shield just backtracks a little. The ball comes back to Canelio. He's forced to get onto the left boot. And now Riley Knight, who's played another good game. That half back just releases the tension and pressure for Adelaide.
Patient kick got back to Hardigan. So he's going to come defensively down that line. Greenwood and Jacobs, a twin target for the Crows there. Shield at the back. Davis gets it out wide to Hopper. Then Hopper measures the kick. Good-looking kick, and he's found Himmelberg in the pocket. And then he quickly goes on. Patton getting back, and he takes the mark. Just few and far opportunities for the big forward tonight. And Patton, it's one of those nights, isn't it? It's just one of those nights.
And they have had some chances down there, Bruce. They've had 39 inside 50s to 45 to Crow, so the ball's got to that part of the ground, but and he's a good example. I guess Patton, he just hasn't been able to find enough of it to generate enough shots at goal.
Adelaide eventually elect the interchange side of the ground. Little ball comes out to Ward, trying to caress it around the corner, and he's done well to Kelly. Found Kelly in a really good position. So Josh Kelly.
Hey, lads. Yeah, just here, please. Thanks.
GWS going to have to play
jump over it. Thanks,
either
Josh.
Port or West Coast in Sydney if they can't get up here tonight. Port or West Coast in Sydney for GWS is looking likely if Kelly can't get something ignited here. And he misses.
Well, you made the point, Lee, that as well as he's played, he probably hasn't used the ball
not as well as he can. I mean, he's beautiful with ball and hands, a wonderful kick at the footy, but yeah, just missed that. It was obviously just a missed shot at goal, but I think his general disposal has just been a little bit off tonight, Kelly.
So Brown to himself and then gets it as far as he can. Core and Walker. A lot talked about Tex in big games. Nick, have you seen his performance tonight?
Oh, I think he's played his role. That's a great thing about the Adelaide forward line is not one of them has really been super dominant tonight, apart from Eddie. He's had some great highlights, but that's been the strength of them all year, is their ability to just complement each other, play the role that they're designated and share the team success.
Shields high ball. Hardigan was at the back there at Patton. Good hard running from McKay. And a clever kick to Cameron. They've moved the ball brilliantly at times, Adelaide. So Cameron off. And then goes inside. Gets to another fast, fleet-footed runner in Atkins. He doesn't want to waste it, so he pushes it wide to McKay. And McKay now slows it down. How can he measure this kick?
Goes low with the bullet and found Lynch. Now Lynch is very, very capable from here. Not indicating the umpire is going to kick the goal though, and he drew Tex Walker to the spot where he placed the footy.
Yeah, it was interesting. Walker just waited for him to kick it. Walker didn't really move until the ball left Lynch's boot, but he just kind of knew exactly what was going to happen, pushed off, came forward. That's great connection, isn't it, between the kicker and the receiver?
That's the cohesion we were talking about. Even the kick from McKay to Lynch. Lynch had hardly moved into the space. McKay just waited the kick, allowed him to run onto it. And that's, we spoke about before the game, Tom Lynch's great ability to make good decisions through that part of the ground.
So Walker, as a result, just putting that one a little wide. Just the push off and the knowing that Lynch is giving Walker time to do that.
Yeah. If I'm Don Pike, I really want to see the boys put the foot on the throat at the moment, really win this game convincingly. They've got a week break, assuming they get up and win, so practice excellence. Don't be comfortable just winning by 40 or 50 points. Do the things that make you a good team really, really well. Set yourself up for a big prelim final.
Ward around the corner, Douglas underneath this. He and Talia bang into each other. In the end, Kelly just went and got it, muscled it out here to Ward, and a little low ball to Green, straight through the Dukes there. He kept it alive, Green, but this wall of defensive players that Adelaide have got, you talk about their forward line being so good, their back line's really competent, and as you said about Tex Walker before, he only has to do a little bit, so do their defenders.
That midfield group, I mean, 12 months ago, the two Crouches were just two okay players, but they've become really good players. Mackay, Atkins, Knight, Greenwood this year. Now all of a sudden they've just got a fairly unheralded but very competent midfield dozen.
So Ward goes sort of down the line. Crouch. I mean, he's always been a gun in waiting, Crouch, as he gives it to his brother. But of course the soft tissue problems for Brad Crouch have kept him out. And Lee, when you think about it, in the last 2 years, I mean, tonight, no Sloan and no Dangerfield.
Yes,
I mean,
yes, that's right. 2 years ago, Dangerfield and Sloan, you thought, without them, the Crows are nothing.
But they've been very good at replacing that sort of player. They've lost a lot of quality players, but you seem to don't worry about it. They bring the next one through, Bruce, don't they?
They do, and one of them's playing for GWS tonight, and that was a big blow when Davis went to the Giants.
Yeah, it was. High footy.
Play on.
Lever. Couldn't reel it in.
Play on.
Green, little one along the ground, cut off by Brown, who's just one of those guys walking down the street. You probably, well, if it weren't in Adelaide, you wouldn't know who he was, but he just is an absolute ripper. Over the head of Atkins there. Patton, nice handball. Ward on the boundary line. Clever little kick to Green. He's going to have to get rid of it quickly. Not sure he had it.
Holding.
When Brown tackled him, umpire gives him the free. Toby Green wanting it in the pocket and just got it on that occasion to Lockie Whitfield.
It was a colourful clash, wasn't it, BT, a moment ago?
Lockie Whitfield just 12 touches of the footy tonight.
I liked it, Bruce.
15 gone.
Sorry, I must have missed it, progress.
Concentrate on it, wasn't that good. Concentrate on Whitfield.
So Whitfield here from 35, wrapped up in my own work, Bruce.
Not for the first time.
Cross the face. Jacobs. And a smashing of the ball in the direction of Jake Kelly. Tackled by Whitfield. Brown backs into trouble about another baller.
Well, they've had a few shots, haven't they? I mean, even there, I mean...
Yeah, that's true. They've been inaccurate. They haven't got a lot of shots of the percentage of times that they've gone into their attacking zone, but they've been inaccurate as well.
And they're going to get another one here, Lee.
Cornelio. Steve Cornelio. Thank you.
Can they nail one here?
Thank you.
He looked in trouble early in the match, Cornelio, didn't he? He looked wounded, but he's been able to play it out.
Thank you.
Kicked a goal in the third quarter when they got a rush on. Before tonight, he was 0-3 from set shots this year, so small sample. He's played the last 5 games after playing only a couple of games up until then. He's got it, so the Giants reduce the margin. He gets his second. Well, they need a rush. They need 2 goals in the next sort of 4 or 5 minutes. And I think Nick might have made the point earlier. When you look at the stats at the end of the match, you're going to say, oh, yeah, he played well, but...
Yeah, possessions, disposal, stats, I don't know, what they've got to be analysed. They're just looking at them, they don't mean enough.
And the Telstra tracker, Nick, with Tom Scully, he was our profiler tonight and he's worked hard.
Yeah, that's what he does. He works hard, he accumulates the ball on the back of his work rate, so no surprise to see that he's the #1 player as far as distance covered for the game. Most of it, you would assume, has been defensive running because they just haven't had
14 and a half pace. I think the average is about 16. So not that far off Core, Wilson and Shaw all combining for GWS. Still they're under pressure. Still they go. Betts, Greenwood, Kelly, Lobb. Back to Josh Kelly now. Nothing on really long, so he just tried to caress it to Patton. But really that was all he had. Himmelberg makes some contact and gets some forward momentum as Brown runs it out of bounds.
So when there's a lack of options like that, BT, it's one of 2 things. Either the guy with the ball is making a poor decision, or the forwards just aren't working honestly enough and hard enough to provide something for the kicker. So that's the one thing Adelaide have done really well. They've got great cohesiveness. The forwards are always providing an option and the kickers are generally making good decisions.
Scully cut off Jenkins's play. Cornelio goes back, gets to Wilson. Wilson goes as hard and high as he can, and then Lever able to do what Lever does.
Jeremy Cameron looks like he's going to be out. He's done the hamstring, but I just think the Patton and Lobb, I mean, they're ruckman-type forwards, and two is one too many. Neither of them take enough big, strong marks, and to be honest, I suspect Patton has to be the second ruckman and find a different type of player than Lobb.
Can you find a spot for Johnson, Lee?
Well, he has to be looked at only on the basis who have they got that can help that forward group, which has looked so impotent tonight.
So Kelly gets up to 30, he joins Crouch as a 30 disposals tonight. Davis kicks to full forward. Jake Kelly held up by De Boer, and a ball up.
There's one thing I really like to elaborate on that point with Patton and Lobb. They're not runners, so the abilities for them to move to be targets to getting the kickers' eyes, I don't think they've got the athleticism to do it.
Free kick the way of Brown here in the back. So the Stevie Johnson issue, I'm sure, Bruce, it'll be talked about all week.
Well, this is the only result, you reckon, BT, that gave him a chance?
A chance to play, yep. Under it, but I would have thought the reasons they gave him for not being in the team would probably mean that the future, regardless, was probably looking bleak.
Yeah, it's amazing. One game can make a big difference, because really you look at them tonight, and really there's in that forward half, nothing has looked good. I mean, Toby Green, we know, is really good. He's been okay tonight, nothing special. But as a forward 6, 7, 8, they've left a lot to be desired tonight.
Douglas bursting away, no one home for him. Shaw will be first to arrive at this footy, although Betts is starting to apply the pressure and made him kick it around the corner rather than have time and space. Ward goes long, and he did have a player on deep in De Boer, but he missed him.
I'll tell you one thing, I reckon right now he's thinking, I'm still a chance. He's thinking right now, I'm still a chance.
It's amazing how sometimes the best thing you can do is actually not play, and your value goes up. Rather than coming out and having a poor game in a tough night for forwards, he sits in the stands and his value probably goes up a bit.
He's got some notes there. I wonder if he is doing the forward line and whether he's written a few down saying maybe Stevie J should go back in. Short ball, Tex normally could go back and kick this, no problems at all, and just as the leader and being unselfish, thought he'd give it off. Seedsman, long ball and misses.
And the other thing they would be thinking is another game tomorrow going to help Stevie Johnson Or do you actually give him the other week off and maybe his knee? There'll be a lot of things that are going through the minds of the Giants.
Gee, that's a good point.
Coaching staff, I would have thought.
Yeah, so at 10:30 tomorrow, there's a match between the two clubs.
However, I don't think you need to find out about his capabilities, do you? You already know about that, so surely if he's fit, he probably doesn't need to play in that game.
So Ward to Whitfield, and then Whitfield wide, Brad Crouch and Dylan Sherlin.
And Nick, it might not be exactly the same, but you had knee issues. So in a way, playing every second week, with just assuming that he's got a sore knee, the couple of weeks off might help.
Yeah, absolutely. I found that really beneficial this year, the couple of times that I did it. I don't think we've got to the point as an industry where we're just comfortable for players to play 14 to 16 games a year, a bit like they do in the English Premier League. Their campaign's a lot longer than ours, but they play selected games, and no doubt Stevie J will be better if he didn't play next week, if they were going to play him tomorrow, if they were going to play him next week.
So Ward to Shaw to De Boer. Shaw working hard, getting it wide, good kick, and finds Himmelberg. He came in tonight along with De Boer. They've both kicked a goal. They haven't had much impact, but they're not alone. And then Himmelberg kicking out wide in a boundary throw-in.
So the question on Stephen Johnson is, do you ask to play in that game in hope that you can rattle home 5 or 6 or 7 goals, or not?
Well, he did put his hand up. He said to Leon Cameron, I want to play on Friday morning. Now, whether or not he changes his mind or not, and whether Leon just says, no, you don't have to play, we'll know at 10:30 in the morning at Footy Park.
Yep, indeed we will. Jacobs free here.
Really depends on what the situation is. Is it he's been out of touch, or is his body letting him down? If his body's been letting him down, well then, is it going to be better for the rest?
Well, he's not out because of injury or fitness. He's out simply because he was out of touch. So wasn't having an influence on the game, I think, would be the reason he didn't get a game. We all know what he's capable of. We don't have to see him do that again. Okay. Been an incredible effort here tonight from the Adelaide Crows. 3 goals to 1 in the first quarter. And they have been relentless. And are going to go through to the prelim final. Shaw with a little knockdown. Ward, beautiful pickup. Out wide. Took a little while getting rid of it, waiting for players to get into position. High ball on the head of Patton, a deliberate knockdown, looking for De Boer. Jake Kelly did well to squeeze the trigger and get rid of it. And Brown was a little worried about taking it over the behind line, but he was under pressure.
Hasn't won them the game. They've had 31 inside 50 tackles, the Giants. So I guess that part of the game hasn't been bad, but the forwards have still got to be able to score as well as lock it in.
So Ward cuts off Talia and then goes back to about 20 metres out. Patton the target, couldn't get off the ground. Talia able to build it away. So just structurally, there's been a lot talked about the Giants this year, and the examination tonight has been a severe one. So the selection of their team next week will be fascinating.
A lot of questions, questions. They've played a similar system, the 2 really big forwards plus Jeremy Cameron all year, but gee, there've got to be a lot of question marks all of a sudden going into next week.
Well played, Lever. Sold a dummy or two, got it to Lynch. And then Lynch does this so brilliantly, doesn't he? He's able to switch and find the right target, and then Seeds, when they're trying to get it over the back, Walker read it best. Read it brilliantly. And that transition football from Adelaide, one end to the other.
It was a beautiful kick, but Walker just establishing body contact just to make sure Davis couldn't get to the fall of the ball, and then all of a sudden it becomes a virtually uncontested mark. Great footy.
The value in finding that short little mark to Lynch across half-back or through the midfield, the half-back on the off-ball side, he's already gone, he's already running, and it's just so damaging.
He's missed it, so he hasn't kicked all that well. And Seedsman, we've talked a lot about the Giants. Seedsman, only 2 games this year, comes in tonight, but his kicking is a good thing, isn't it?
Oh, he's got a big role to play for the rest of the campaign for the Crows, particularly with Brodie Smith going down. They are a little bit like for like. They can run, they can carry, they can distribute the ball well, they can kick a long running goal, so he's probably the most likely to replace Smith across half-back.
And if you just joined us, you would have heard Nick say, with Brodie Smith going down, looks like Not confirmed, but very much looks like an ACL. Gone for the year. Jeremy Cameron with a hamstring, probably gone for the year. Here's the man that Nick was speaking about, Seedsman. Gave it off to Douglas, who handles the ball. McGovern with an absolute ripper.
Can't he jump that leap? We tore him that big pack mark to drill the game against Collingwood, but he's just got that beautiful leap, just the power in the legs.
Look at that.
Launch.
Extraordinary athleticism from Mitch McGovern. Nice grab. Oh. Kick one. Tough one this. Needs to work it a little bit left to right here. And that will never get there in that position. There's a bit of a giggle. He said, I don't care, the mark was good enough. That'll do me.
He and his brother, they can do that. Spectacular.
Gecko hands.
See some high flying tonight. Betts, Green. Kelly was, rather Lever was third man up there. Laird takes on De Boer and then squeezes it out. Clever toe poke by Lynch. Knight asked a bit of Douglas. Williams able to thread his way through and then kick down the line. Talia and Patton. Talia able to work him and Kelly to back him up. This defence for Adelaide has been supreme. Not a great kick, but Greenwood able to get it. Gets it to Brad Crouch. Brad Crouch with a little one to Douglas. Got a push. So Richie Douglas looked down and out 2 years ago, resurrected himself. I think having his best season ever, even though he's been a former best and fairest. Kicks wide to Brad Crouch. Crouch stood up well there against Wilson, then has a little bit of time to go back to Brown.
Brown now contemplates and goes forward into the pocket. Betts looking to go to work on Deledio. Very nearly got it done. What a pick up from Riley Knight. The snap at goal equally as good. And across the face, Haynes keeps it alive for Kelly. Kelly looking for some more running support in Haynes. He got caught, took a little bit too long. Waiting for his teammate to get in position. McGovern.
Mitch, come on the fence.
With the tackle. So this is almost identical to where he was a few moments ago. Adelaide fans enjoying the moment in the front rows there. McGovern just looks off to the right there for some reason. Probably had a look on the screen to see the time. And once again, probably needs to start this at the left goal post and try and work it back. Very close to the man on the mark, and again he's made the same mistake. Never gave it a chance, or the last one.
Just a few minutes to go. Don Plyte will accept that they've won the game. So we can two things. Please don't get any injuries in the last 4 minutes. And second, what are we going to do in the next fortnight to make sure that we don't suffer from going straight through from this game to the preliminary final?
So, sure, Himmelberg got rid of his opponent in Lever. Of course, the two winners of the qualifying finals last year with the bye. Pre-finals both were defeated. It's been a big talking point.
That is the big point of contention, isn't it? That you finish top four, you get a week off leading into the finals, and then you get a week off into the prelim. You really end up playing 2 games of footy in a month. So it's not the ideal preparation. Players like continuity. They like the ability to be able to train, go through the week and know exactly what the week looks like. Clearly the bye during the year is a little bit different. It's designed to freshen you up for the second half of the season, but yeah, I don't think the players like it too much, the first bye.
It's a Greenwood run down. He just got a quick kick away. Williams tried to. And then Haynes' quick kick slewed off. Now Atkins a left footer. He might get enough on it. No, it misses.
One thing I think for sure, Nick, there'll be a bit of match practice next Friday, next Saturday for the Crows. I mean, I think the clubs have realised you can't have a mental break. You might have a physical break from the battery next weekend, but make sure you're mentally sharp. Nothing like a holiday in this next 7 days.
So definitely some contesting work, Lee, between
absolutely,
now.
Absolutely.
Opportunity here. Green tries to break the McKay tackle. Got him in the back. Umpire Dalglish. Green gets it and goes and mangles it inside 50. Kelly a hand on it to Talia. Talia out of Assumption College in Victoria. Himmelberg a little smother on it. Right foot snap. Couldn't work it back enough.
He's got a lot of scalps on his back. Talia, the big power forward. He seems to handle most of them pretty well.
Interesting with GWS, we know that Sheedy, being a former coach there, Bruce, has Kevin Sheedy got a big weekend. Supporting the Giants tonight hasn't gone so well. He's got the Tigers tomorrow, his old side that he played 250 games with. And he's got the Bombers, who he coached 4 premierships with on Saturday.
He's got a full hand, hasn't he?
He has indeed.
Yep.
Big weekend.
So, Nick, your top 4 tonight?
Yeah, I thought coming into the game that the really big question mark was the absence of Rory Sloane and how the inside mids for Adelaide would stand up, and the Crouch boys have done that absolutely. They've won a lot of the footy, but tackled really well, distributed the ball, been really effective with it. Tom Lynch has played that role perfectly as that connect man. He's had 24 possessions, half of them contested, 10 marks, hit the scoreboard, and just been really smart with his ball use. You've commented a few times, Bruce, his ability to just open the play up, make good decisions by foot. And if you kept spoils as a stat, we don't have him here, but Jake Lever's been incredible. He's marshalled the defence. He's just put really emphatic fists on the ball a number of times, which sends a great signal to his teammates, and he's played a super game.
Josh Gibson did pretty well in September doing that over the years, didn't he? Take his core wide.
It's a really valued role.
Yep. Himmelberg, and then Himmelberg wider still. 4th largest crowd ever at this ground, 52,800 a night. Here's Scully.
Yeah, and I think we're going to get one tomorrow night, Bruce, in excess of 95, I would have thought. Huge crowd. Jake Kelly, so finals footy is alive and well. Davis. Taken away by Corbett. Davis will be paid, will he? Should be, no. It's going to go to Core. Kelly has to stop and wait a little, but Adelaide looking to avoid any body contact in this last minute or so of the game. No injuries needed. Good mark, Greenwood. Nick, if you're Tex Walker of the Adelaide side, would you, as a player, like to come off the ground now, knowing that you've won the game, knowing that you're in a prelim final, and knowing that you don't want to get injured? How do you feel about coming off? We'll just wait for Williams to tidy this one up as he hits the post. Would you like to be protected, or do you want to stay out there as a player?
Oh, no, you'd want to stay out there, but I think once the coach takes it out of your hands and you get on the bench and you put your feet up and you feel pretty good knowing you're going into a prelim, it's not the worst thing. So he'd be feeling very satisfied at the moment. He's done a great job as captain, leading this team the last few years, and they're in a great position now to be able to go and achieve something really, really special as a group.
Jacobs, and then Douglas. So Sam Jacobs, black armbands tonight. He's had a very, very hard week. He's lost his older brother. The funeral is tomorrow. And he's been out there tonight, and all the mixed emotions and the sorrow he's been through. He's played a massive role. Says so much about the character of the man. So Scully's little gift to Hopper. Hopper's give. Kelly racking them up to Wilson, and Wilson measures. That's a good kick to lob. Lever cutting across with Himmelberg. Himmelberg to Green, and then Green trying a little pokey one, and then Talia tapping it back to Lever, back to Talia, and Talia to Laird. Oh, they're a good defence, aren't they? And the Laird belts the ball out wide. He wants the boundary line, and Haynes helps him, and that just sums them up. They're a good group. They're cohesive, aren't they?
Yeah.
Collective, they're a good group, that back six.
Yeah, right across the ground, really. The way the midfielders get back and support defence, the way the forwards are able to get up the ground and just know what each other are doing, they're very well drilled.
Just saw Tex Walker with Jacobs there a moment ago as the Giants go forward. So, there he is, the big source.
Shane, Josh, thank you.
He's a brave man. So in the dying seconds, Scully taps forward, Greenwood searching, Williams contesting, and they're going to ball up. So 6-goal margin. That says a lot, doesn't it? One man who we know won't play anymore in this final series with his great mate. So Adelaide, minor premiers for only the second time. They're only top of the table for 1 week when they went minor premier in 2005. It was the very last round. They've been top for 18 weeks coming in to this match this season. And for just the second time ever, they're going to host a preliminary final in Adelaide. 11 years ago it was, and they've done it here in 2017. Right now, they're the favourites for the flag. So it is down to you. Crows win by 36 points.
Well, Sammy Jacobs, you're only 1 win away from the grand final. A phenomenal effort, and what a start.
Yeah, it's amazing, mate, to play out in front of our home fans and to play the way we did, mate. It's a really special night.
Sammy, obviously unbelievably mixed emotions for you. It's been a super challenging week or so. How are you feeling now?
Yeah, mate, just a bit overawing at the moment with all the emotion and that, but it wasn't about me this week. It was about the club. We're on the journey. We want to get to where we want to go, and mate, it's just, I've got a fantastic support network around me. It's just great to be able to play my role and get the win tonight.
Had a chance just to sit down there for the last minute or two and probably have some good thoughts, mate, and realise that it's been a huge challenge, and so far you guys are ticking the boxes.
Yeah, it is, mate. It's really enjoyable to get a win here in front of our fans, and we'll recover. We'll have a look next week and get ready to go again.
Mummy's a big unit too. You had to take him on. You got the better of him tonight.
Oh, I don't know about that, mate. He's a fantastic player. I got a lot of respect from him. We spent a lot of time playing against each other, and yeah, I really enjoyed my time against him.
Well, Sammy, no doubt a lot of love from the crowd and all your supporters, a lot of love from the opposition and your teammates. Congratulations on your performance tonight.
And there is that respect that Sam talked about with Shane. Sauce and Mummy coming together. And for him, still a hope, still a chance. Not all lost, not the best way to have a lifeline thrown at you, and for that man, well, he made the only call he could, and for the man at the back of him, there won't be any more September footy, and there we see the reaction. Mark, down to you. You've got a couple of really special boys with you.
Well, these two, the Crouch brothers, they live together, they play footy together, and they rack it up together. But first of all, of course, Matty, All-Australian, Brad. How's he been this week off the back of that?
No, he's been pretty good. It was well deserved by him. He's had a great season, so it was good for him. He's taken it in stride pretty well.
Absolutely. Matty, we just said to Source 2, you're now only one game away from playing in a grand final. What a phenomenal season you've had so far.
Yeah, exactly right. We've created a great opportunity for ourselves, so we performed well again tonight, so I can't wait for a couple of weeks' time. It's going to be a big game.
Yeah, obviously conditions pretty tough. Both of you boys racked up plenty of it again. I think your kicking efficiency for each of you coming in around the mid-50s tonight, up around 70% for both of you. This weather's good for you, Brad.
Yeah, it is. We like playing in the wet. We've had a few games out here this year where we've played really well as a side in the wet, and we didn't think it was going to rain too much before the game, but when it did, really suited us. I think we adapted the conditions quite well.
Matt, you two share a house. Who does most of the work then?
The girls do a fair bit of the work. We just sort of sit back and let them do it. But we chip in every now and then.
Now, importantly, we've had some problems both with Eddie Betts and Rory Sloane. Do you have your appendix?
I think so.
It's still there?
Yeah, I've got mine too.
Boys, be very, very careful this week, okay? Just look after them right now because obviously something's contagious at the club. But congratulations, wonderful performance.
All right, thanks, Otis. Thanks, Otis. Cheers.
Come on, boys.
So this fella doesn't have his appendix. We know that his was probably a even a bigger shock than Rory's in a way at first, but that one teammate, ex-teammate to another, so source that such a difficult week and expressing all of that now. And for Rory Sloane, well, inside he's feeling really good right now. He knows that in 2 weeks' time he'll be running on top of the ground. And so does this guy. He's 48 years of age. He's only in his second season as a senior coach. He'd done a huge apprenticeship, hadn't he? Both here under Neil Craig at West Coast and in between that doing other things. He was on the board at West Coast before he became the midfield coach. And so does your with the bloke in question in Don Pye.
Absolutely, Don. Of course, that second semi-final against Sydney last year, you built a game to win finals off the back of that, and so far so good.
Yeah, look, to the boys' credit tonight, they played a fantastic brand, and really proud of them.
Slow starts over the last few weeks. You knew you had to start well tonight, and geez, it worked well. Was that a real big confidence thing that you looked at?
Yeah, well, look, it's, we know the importance of starting well, especially at home in finals, puts the opposition on the back foot, and I thought our guys came out tonight, and it took a while to build into it, but our first half in particular, we're pretty strong in all phases, which was really pleasing.
Biggest down of the night, of course, Brodie Smith. The club said suspected ACL. That's what you think at the moment?
Very sad for Brodie. We'll hope, I'll keep our fingers crossed for the scan, but the doctor's report at the moment doesn't look great, so just disappointing for him and the player, and obviously a quality player, a quality guy and stuff. So as I said, we'll keep our fingers crossed. 2 weeks now, and obviously come off a break as well. How do you go about handling that? We've got a few things in mind that we think might be able to help in terms of maintain. It's going to be a long time between the next game, so we just think we can do a couple of things maybe a little bit different and keep our guys not only fresh but still engaged in the program and keep on improving into a prelim final.
Well done, Don. Congratulations tonight. Another little box tick, but still plenty to go.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Appreciate that.
Well, they've given themselves every chance, haven't they, to win a home prelim final. Something they haven't done for 11 years and only done once before, and they're in the box seat, so they've worked hard. They've been the best team in the competition in terms of ladder position all season, and they've confirmed that tonight.
Do they automatically get the Friday night preliminary final as the highest ranked preliminary finals?
That's the way it generally goes.
What happens, isn't it?
And you would think with the other game being in Melbourne that likely to be a twilight game on a Saturday, still to be decided by the AFL, but that's the way you'd expect it to happen, wouldn't you?
Yeah, sure. Just interested watching Rory Sloane here. He can't wipe the smile off his face. It's incredible how grateful he would be to his teammates at the moment, just knowing that they got the job done, they've done the right thing, that the club's clearly looked after Rory, and he now knows that he goes slots straight into the team for a preliminary final. He looks pretty happy.
He sure does. No, they were great tonight. Their second quarter was irrepressible, set the match up. They were challenged in the third quarter for about 10 minutes, weren't they?
Yeah, they were. It was a brief period where GWS really looked like they'd come to play. They weren't able to sustain it, but I guess the greatest reflection of Adelaide's performance was how hard it was to find a top four. They were just so even.